Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. It is the MISC Day at the 2948 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo Anniversary Sale and Free Flight. There are a lot of words going on there, aren't there? Jeez. So, what do we have on the floor today? We've got the MISC Reliant. I actually think this is my least favourite ship in the game with the way it flies at the moment. We've got the new flight model coming up soon. It's a second-tier starter ship, is sort of like what they've deemed it. I would say, in most situations, with the base variant especially, skip it for the Avenger Titan. I'm sorry. Some people probably love it. It is very B-Wing-esque when it is in its other sort of like flight position. Basically, it can be deployed in this position, sort of flat, or it can go up into more of a pillar. Well, I mean, the cockpit turns, I suppose, rather than the other. That gentleman's probably going to get in it. Got the Prospector as well. Prospector, very much worth a fly, because you can go around now and press tab to turn on scan mode when you're in it. Hold left click, ping, ping, and you might find some asteroids or some little mineable rocks on planets and moons to mine and get rich. Woo! Probably the best way of making money at the moment in Star Citizen is from mining. So, definitely worth checking out. Get as much alpha UEC as you can by mining in the short term while it's rentable. Oh, yes. So we've got the Razors over here. So, the Razor is one of the true racing ships in the game. And now there are 3 of them. So you've got the standard Razor, which is going to be good across sort of like all courses. It's built for a mixture of agility and speed. It's going to have a very fast top speed, but it's got gun mounts as well, but you strip them off, it's a racer more than anything else. You've got the LX version, coming in this lovely white livery. I actually think it's the best looking in white, but this is more of a dragster. It's going to have a faster top speed in a straight line, but takes a hit on agility. And then you've got the EX version, I believe it's called, and this is sort of like the stealthier version, and is like employed to float around the verse by like the UE military or the advocacy to listen in on people. But that sounds quite cool to me. Like I want to see how this actually works in game eventually. It's an interesting one, but I suspect that they are all suitable as solid racers and maybe very light interceptors. So bear that in mind. We have the MISC Freelancer. For some reason, I forgot what it was called briefly. It's stuck in the ground. I like the idea of the Freelancer, but I prefer the Cutlass because it's cheaper. It is a cool ship, though. Certainly going to be a favourite with some people. And then we have the Starfarers. So this is the Starfarer Gemini. Yes, it's definitely the Gemini. And this is a more armoured version of the Starfarer. And basically the Starfarer's role is to be able to farm and mine fuel from gas giants and other sources. And then also refuel other ships in space. So you're going to be making money from a mixture of those two things. This is the more armour militarized version. I can't words. And this is the more civilian version, the standard Starfarer. It was the first big ship we had in game, and it is still pretty glorious, to be honest. But that's sort of it from the show floor today. What's available on the MISC Ship Shop today? So as flyable and for sale, we've got the Reliant Core, we've got the Freelancer, we've got the Razor and its variants, the LX and EX. We've got the Prospector. Definitely try out the Prospector. It's got mining gameplay. It's very much worth a fly. And we've got the Starfarer and its military version, the Gemini, as well. But in production currently, that is still purchasable but not flyable or usable yet, in the conceptness, we've got the various modules for the Endeavour available separately. So it can basically take a variety of different modular setups with these modules. And I will link my old video on the Endeavour so you can actually see how that all links together and exactly what you're getting with the Endeavour. We've got the Hull A, which is the smallest of the Hull ships. I don't really see much of a point in the Hull A in the game because even the very small ships have a better hull, better capacity than it for cargo at the moment. But have to wait and see. Maybe it's got some advantages there. We've got the Reliant variants, so the Tanner, the Sen, and the Mako, which is the news van. The Tanner is the combat variant, and the Sen is the more exploration, sciencey one. What else have we got? We've got the Hull B, bit more use out of that. It's got a much larger cargo bay. We've got the Freelancer variants as well, the Der, the Max, and the MISC. The Der being the sort of like exploration variant, the Max being the more cargo variant, and the MISC being the militarized missile variant, proper missile boat. And I think it's got like a reloading missile system that it can reload from missiles from the cargo bay, which is pretty useful. Hull C, I think that's going to be a very common cargo ship for smuggling as well. We've got the Endeavour. Now, the Endeavour is basically a floating laboratory, sort of like modular setup ship that can do a mixture of exploration, science, and farming, whatever you set it up to do. And there's quite a few setups there. They've got the Hull D, and this is getting into like the much larger size of cargo ship now. We've also got that ridiculous sized Hull E, which is one of the largest ships we are aware of in the game at the moment. It can just carry a horrendous amount of cargo. That is available in a limited amount, and it is available on Warbond, but also store credit. So check that out if you're interested. For me, it's only sort of like a super org purchase or group purchase, although I'm sure some crazy people will go, I want that. I want to solo haul in the most giant hauling ship. But obviously, there's going to be a load of issues being attacked by pirates and stuff if you're going through more dangerous systems in the future. And it's as it's one of the larger cargo ships, it's probably going to be a while before it's in game. So please bear that in mind. There's also the Endeavour Master Set, which is available in a limited amount as well for $1,000. And it comes with all of the modules. Let's very briefly go over what some of those modules do for the Endeavour, because different setups will give you an entirely different experience. So you've got the service equipment and crew pod, basically supports more crew for the ship. You've got the fuel pod, allows you to go further, stores fuel for you. You've got the general research pod. So this is going to do a lot of different sciencey things once we have the science mechanics in game. And I think it goes on to talk about you can create compounds there. So maybe there's some sort of drug manufacturing, but you'll be able to gather data there. You'll be able to analyze like biological samples and that sort of stuff, and potentially make that sort of information into sellable information from researching new compounds, from new plants, from biological data, stuff like that. Sciencey things. You also have that medical pod and landing bay, and when they're combined together, basically you have what they deemed the Hope Hospital Endeavour variant. So that medical pod will allow you to have various medical equipment, some of it being the top tier stuff, allowing people effectively to respawn there and to be healed from near death. And you also have some of the other mixed tier stuff, lots of beds for people to get healed, to get to spawn from, that sort of stuff. That's the idea of that hospital. You could run it as potentially a mobile spawn location in the future. That's the sort of stuff they were talking about with that. Or it would be like for servicing a large organization, or after battle. There will be missions for it, but it's quite a large facility is what I'm trying to say. And that landing bay allows people to land and take off from your ship. They've talked briefly about the potential of having ships being able to be called there, and now they have that with the service beacon system. You could wait in the landing bay for a ship to come and collect you without having to jump out into space in EVA or whatever. I think the size of that landing bay is approximately 2 Cutlass Reds, but we'll have to see once the Cutlass Red has had its rework, though, just in case metrics change. And obviously, the Endeavour and its modules have not been built out yet. Got the Biodome, that's for farming. You want to farm, you get the Biodomes. Super Collider, that's for overclocking and tweaking components and weapons and systems. You can get better items, basically, by overclocking them there. And overclocking different from literally pressing the button to overclock in the ship at the moment. This is literally tweaking systems and items to be fractionally better, is the idea. You've got the telescope array. That's more focused for exploration. You'll be able to detect and scan anomalies from long distances. Maybe you'll see a black hole or something that's far too far to actually travel to, but you'll be able to collect information on that and potentially sell that information or complete missions that would be otherwise uncompletable without that equipment. One of the modules that for some reason wasn't listed on that page, but is available, or at least I didn't see it listed on that page, is the General Science pod. So that allows you to crunch numbers and data, and I think it's the idea is to package it into sellable data. I think it's probably the end goal there. Think of it as assisting the general research pod, or after you've gathered certain data and certain analysis stuff, you take it to the general science pod, and then it would package it into something more usable. The Endeavour is one of my favourite ships, with some of its loadouts, and it's because it's one of the true modular ships, and it can do so much. And I love the idea of science and industry and the economy, and this being a major ship in that. Now, we don't know too much about when this gameplay is actually going to come out. It might be quite a long time in the future. I'd be surprised if these ships, although they are limited stock, the actual master sets, I'd be surprised if they sold out during the sale. And if people desperately want an Endeavour and they've got the spare monies to purchase one, I'd get the Endeavour and then just buy the modules separately that you want. That's just me, though. One of the other things, I suppose, with the Endeavour that I should mention is that the front comes off. So the front of the ship, it does detach to fly around separately, and the rear of the ship acts as a lab that you can deploy, and all of its facilities will still work while you go off exploring or doing something in the front section. And that front section is a totally viable exploring ship, is the idea of it. Each day of the anniversary free flight, the Matadors are giving away 2 Star Citizen Drake Loot and Scoot Deluxe ship packages. They contain a copy of Star Citizen, a Cutlass Black with pirate skin, and a Dragonfly yellow jacket. Matadors are a Star Citizen pirate organisation focused on PvP. They are looking for active players, both old and new, who want to get involved with group play and focused piracy gameplay, but also touch on industry and exploration. They have a huge range of ships for their members to use and are pretty damn self-sufficient. They are a banterous and extrovert bunch though, so be aware. Some would refer to them as infamous. They are, however, giving away a load of ill-gotten gains on my channel as prizes, so who am I to complain? Please check out more information about them in the links below. To have a chance of winning though, be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my videos on the channel from the 23rd to the 30th of November. Each day I will select 2 winners from videos that were created that day and announce them all on the 1st of December. So that's 14 chances to win, plus the normal monthly giveaway of the Saber Raven. If you are considering getting or upgrading your gaming PC for Star Citizen or any other game for that matter, instead, consider the Shadow Cloud gaming service. It's a subscription-based service that leverages your internet connection to turn any appropriate device, whether it be an old PC, smartphone, tablet, and more, into a powerful Windows 10 gaming PC. It's been working well in the latest 3.3.0 PTU patch of Star Citizen. I'm going to try and maintain a best practices guide on my website as well. More information is available in the links below, and if you do decide to try it, use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the verse.